Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the Elite Sports Debate podcast. And it's been a pretty busy day of sport, recording this on Sunday evening. Sadly, not quite as busy as we wanted it to be. I had my two iPads ready to go. I had the golf on the telly, the golf was in me, the Open. And then I was going to have the F1 and the cricket on the iPad, and unfortunately, I didn't need one of the iPads. So we'll come to that. But anyway, how's it going, mate?
Yeah, all good, all good. Had a bit of a do.
We've had a couple of days off in Derby. We met up and
Yeah. We've had a fun-filled weekend. Had a bit of a do this afternoon. I've got some family over from Australia, so I had a bit of a do this afternoon watching the golf. But as you say, we had another TV ready to go to do the cricket, and it was so, as everyone will know, the cricket was cancelled. I'm really interested to let's start with the cricket, pal, because let's go right. So really, did you see the quote from Joe Root saying, "Why are we not playing till 10 o'clock?" And I'm not. Obviously, we're going to sit here and say, of course they should. Why not? Because obviously we were on, England were nailed on to win that test match. And I'm not saying it would have made a big difference, because it's still hosing it down, and I'm 15 miles away from Old Trafford. So what I'm saying is that, it's just about giving the opportunities to play, if that makes any sense. And so today's wiped out, and I get why maybe you wouldn't do it tomorrow, but also why not? I just think that it's a draw is. I don't know. Look, I'm scrambling around because obviously I'm incredibly biased, and I feel just absolutely devastated for people like Crawley, who's had 190 runs, pointless, and how well England played, and it's they may as well have played as bad as. What did Quadri get out for? In total, 40 runs. Crawley gets out for 198 in one innings, and they both may as well have.
There's a few little things, we were much the better side. That's what makes it even saltier. If Australia were on top, you might be like, hey, whatever. In fact, we were going to win. Makes it a bit more annoying. I just feel like it can't end like that.
No, and I think
feel like this could be a big turning point. Actually, I hope it is.
Yeah, I
hope there's something that changes.
Yeah, I really, really, really feel that this is probably when obviously me and Johnny are big, we're big golfers, and there's certain things that put people off golf or participating in golf, which might be the snobbery around it, might be the how strict rulings are, how strict clubhouse rules are, etc., etc., etc.
Most of it's a load of bollocks, but yeah, we won't go.
Yeah, and as you just said, a load of bollocks, and then we're talking about cricket now. This is a major issue. And I almost feel like it's a dated rule, in the sense of it was probably a ruling when there was people had to then get back to work. For example, when they did cricket when sport, even professional sport, was just a bit of a hobby for a lot of people, and only the big time people were getting paid. Well, I'm sorry, this is now professional sport where jobs are on the line. That coach, Baz's job is technically on the line here. Now, if he says we're going to play this style of cricket, and I well, actually, the bonuses, there'll be bonuses based on on retaining the Ashes or winning the Ashes, and we should have been going into that test. We should have been going into that final test at the Oval, looking at it, going, it's a one test match series, and
Barely any doubt what we would have won. That's the sad
yeah,
thing.
and there's they
We've got all
they
the
play.
momentum going into the final test if we win.
Yeah, they play tomorrow and it's done. So I almost feel that maybe it shouldn't be a 5 day series. It almost should be like a I don't know, kind of like a 200 overs, or I don't know. Do you get what I mean? Like, I
Yeah,
just
something
feel
needs
that
to change. I agree with what you said. It's a bit old fashioned, and sports change with the times. Like I watched the 2005. I need to watch it on the 2005 earlier while there was a delay because annoyingly, obviously they said they'd come back at one, didn't they? Well, I
yeah,
switched it on at 5 to 1. There was a further delay.
yeah,
I watched on the 05 series, and watching it without the review system, I was like, how did we ever get by?
yeah, yeah.
With
I
like
mean
no
that
flicker, with no nothing.
that
Uh,
that review on there was a big one. There was a big one. I mean, the 2019 when they ran out of reviews and it was a big and there was a massive edge, Stuart Broad edge. So, like,
I mean,
look.
times change, so I feel like we need to change it. And the biggest shame is it's either the best or the top two best because the 05 series was brilliant. It's in my top two Ashes series I've ever watched, easy. And I just hope people don't forget that. Like the first 3.5 tests were phenomenal for all
Mhm.
different reasons, and it's just such a sad, damp way to end a fantastic series. And like I say,
Yeah.
now let's say we win the last test, which we might, people will then go, didn't rain at Old Trafford, we'd have won the Ashes. So yeah, it's just such a shame that there must be something. It's hard, I don't know what, but there must be something.
Like,
One of the tiny points I wanted to
for,
make, and
for,
it sounds really stupid. I think you could play in drizzle. I'm
okay.
not saying if it's a flooded outfield, it's a flooded outfield.
Mhm.
Most sports will play in the rain. Most will.
Yeah, yeah.
If
I
it's
mean,
drizzling, so what? So
I
what if it's
don't
drizzling?
think, I don't think that me and you are able to really comment too much on that because, like, I don't think I think we could comment on from a golf point of view. I think we could comment on a football point of view, but it's like, for example, it's like saying you could play with a bit of frost, and it's like,
Yeah,
hmm,
but
hmm,
the umpires can
we've
make a
we've
call if it's unplayable. So in golf, if it's raining,
yeah,
then you crack on. If the greens start flooding, then they might say this is unplayable. Or if it's thunder and lightning, it's a safety risk. They might go, okay, it's drizzling, but what I'm saying is if it drizzles, why not? Ball gets a bit wet. Whoever's in bad
but
luck. No one's
but
advantage.
say
You're in
so.
bad luck. Get over it. If it drizzles, what's the downside? I just don't understand. It's
No,
not a
no, no,
safety
no.
thing, is it?
The thing that I don't understand is, say the greens at Hoylake started taking water today, and they pull them off. Well, they wouldn't just finish it as just go, well, no one's won.
Yeah, exactly. Let's
They
call
play
it
tomorrow.
avoid the event. It's avoid the event. Yeah. No, I agree with
Yeah.
you. You go into
No
Monday
one,
finish.
no one. It's a Monday finish, and well, then that's
Cricket's
what
very
that's.
unique. Nothing else like that, is there, where they go, oh, well, we've run out of time to draw. I don't think there's any other
Ah,
sport that would
well.
do that. Yeah, exactly.
No,
Oh,
no,
well,
I
5
agree.
days. If it
Oh,
needs to
well.
change, like you
Oh
said, either
well.
go
Oh
later
well.
or go into the next day. Can't be going to the
Like, I understand it. I understand it from a village cricket point of view, but like, when results really matter, really, really, really matter, when jobs are on the line, when bonuses are on the line, then you are you. Because for me, if I'm Baz McCullum, I'm walking in and say they win at the Oval, he goes into that office and says, I want all of my players getting that bonus.
Yeah, because we would have
because
won.
we won that test match. We won that test match, and the ECB should pay the bonus out for winning the Ashes because ultimately. But then their argument would be, well, Australia might have played different at the Oval. So it's completely and utter because Australia now are on the beach because they've won the Ashes.
Yeah. This is going to sound really harsh. Is there less chance of rain at like the Aegeus Bowl as there would be at Old Trafford? Is it harsh to go to bring one to Southampton with the slightly more chance that we finish a game of cricket? It's a bit harsh on Old Trafford, but
mate,
it was
it's
sunny all
not
day at
stopped.
Southampton.
It's not stopped hosing down
No.
everywhere across the country today. Then
Southampton's been sunny most of the day. Someone was there earlier. They were like, "Such a shame we can't have it here because it's been sunny all day or most of the day." So, I know it's weather and I get it, but there just must be some
well, then
kind of.
we should just fuck it. We should, but literally, you look at June, July, it's not stopped raining all of July. June, we didn't have one drop of rain all June. So it's just
Old Trafford is famous for rain.
Yeah, it's magic. Yeah, I know what you mean. Look, I do know what you mean. Ultimately, it's not Old Trafford's fault. It's cricket's fault.
No. Yeah, I would mostly agree. Yeah, I would mostly agree.
So
Something
you can't
should change.
unless we stick a roof on it.
Yeah, like centre court did. Yeah, but they had the issue of the rain and but again, yes, they went to extend, but like it was an issue, and they did something about that issue. I'm not saying stick a roof over it necessarily, but you need to. I really hope this is a turning point because it's quite a big moment. It's the Ashes. It's a big deal. It was so close.
It feels like the balloon of the Ashes has been popped.
Yeah, I agree.
And the Oval would have been probably the biggest and most anticipated test match of my lifetime from what I can remember. I can't remember like 2005, like obviously it's a long time ago. It's nearly 20 years ago. So like I can't really remember how massive it felt. Like I don't know. And then obviously yeah.
Imagine
Obviously
your
the World
tickets.
Cup, the World.
Imagine your tickets to the Oval. You're absolutely buzzing, thinking, "Oh my god!" And now we're like, "Oh great."
Yeah, damp squid. So,
It's a shame.
so,
It's a huge
yeah,
shame to end an incredible, probably the best Ashes series I've ever seen like that, which is such a shame.
yeah.
Some incredible highs.
And as well, another point that I wanted to make: there was one person who potentially was playing their last ever Ashes test at his home ground, and that was Jimmy Anderson. And he's 41 years of age, and the rain has robbed him of that. Like he could have had like he could have been like he could have been taking his cap off. He could have been like full on announcing it and planning it for today, and like that's gone. So yeah, I've got big issues with it. How we change it. For me, it seems simple that we just go, right, we've lost today, we get tomorrow. And and
eliminate
if you cut up the days, and if you lose a whole segment of either the morning session, the afternoon session, the evening session, like if you lose that session, you get that session the next day. And I'm telling you now, if they put all the if they're worried about tickets, if they're worried about anything like that, you put all of them on sale tomorrow, first come, first served on the app. Gone.
You feel it, yeah. Yeah,
gone,
take draw
gone.
off the table. Take draw off the table. There's no such thing as a draw in tennis. Take draw
And
off the table.
and I know there's one questionable listener who will be listening to this and he'll be telling me that I'm an idiot and that this is just cricket and we just need to get on with it. But like ultimately, the world is too reliant on cash, and this can't go on because it's why Test match cricket is struggling. And there's other aspects of cricket that are doing very well. And
I think if you took draw off the table, I think it wouldn't harm the game. Because then it would knock the people over that would say, "Oh, you can play 5 days to get a draw." Well, if they draw off the table, then kind of.
I think it improves the spectacle as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you now, watching the way that they bowled, the way that Mitch Marsh batted yesterday, they were playing for a draw because they knew the weather. Yeah. Whereas
without that on the table,
that's not cricket. That's not cricket.
Yep.
How can you play for a draw? It's just terrible.
I agree. Good. I think that's covered the Ashes. If there's nothing else you want.
Quite literally, it's actually a massive shame that we've had some really good debates about the Ashes, and that's now it. And now that's it now.
And now the rest of that test that was great, we haven't covered Crawley, we haven't covered Bairstow 99 not out because it's a draw, so it doesn't matter really, does it?
And you need to apologise to Johnny.
I wasn't his biggest critic, but yeah, a little bit. Did you see the interview I sent you?
Yeah.
Quite interesting. My biggest point on that is it's very easy. It reminds me of Dele Alli. Very easy to knock someone from the outside when you don't know what's going on. So when Johnny was like, "I've had this, I didn't play for 9 months, 2 years or whatever. I, haven't played for 9 months. I haven't kept for blah 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 blah. I've had a wrist injury." We don't realise that on the sidelines, just watching the game. We just judge it and go. So you just don't ever get the info story. But fair play to him. To have the balls for him to be under pressure, take a couple of great catches, especially one absolute worldie, one of the best team catches I've ever seen. He was right up there. And then get 99 out with the bat. Fair play to him. He's grown some balls and he stood up and gone, "Drop me now."
Yeah.
You can't.
No.
So fair play to the fella. I just really liked his interview. I thought it was really honest. And even the bit at the start, he was like, "Oh, we want to get your view about last week's stumping." He was like, "Don't have a view." Next. Done.
I think he's just enjoying not being controversial. It's almost what we're going to come on to next, which is Rory and the Open, where Rory's had a bit of a blanket ban on doing interviews this week because he's sick of it, and he's sick of the stories from him being accessible. So he's just like, okay, we'll make a story that I'm not accessible, and trust me, you'll stop being tossers when you ask me questions.
Exactly. You need me, really.
Yeah.
You need me.
Yeah.
You stop taking me out to be this and that, and you do that. I hate Liv stuff. You know he hates Liv. Leave him alone.
Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly. Play golf, I'd retire. So we know he doesn't like it. Leave him alone. Like, but I think fair play to him, concentrate on his golf. He doesn't need to do that. I don't think any less of him as a golfer or as a person. I love him. I don't see any less of him for doing that. I can completely understand why he's done it. There's nothing in it for him.
I respect him more for doing it because it got really, really, really out of hand.
I think as well it's a major. You might go, "I'm just going to knuckle down and play golf." I need to play golf. Yeah. It's my job.
It got really out of hand. Do you remember a couple of tournaments ago where he was fucking mic'd up and he was chatting, walking up the fairway?
The one after the Live news was like, all eyes were on him. Like, here we go, Rory's interview. Yeah. He's going to explode.
Yeah, and it was like Rory has been dealt an absolute dagger to the heart, and you guys think it's the appropriate thing to do, which is just hound him. So yeah. So I mean, yeah. So we're talking.
Yeah. He got shafted by it more than anyone really.
Yeah, we're talking after Harman has won the Open, British Open, and he.
You know, that's annoying me, don't you?
Yeah, the British Open. So, I mean, if anything, is it? I mean, the British Open. the British Open would suggest that they actually do anything in Wales, which they don't. So it's actually the English
They might though.
Scott.
They might. I played Port Call and it's unbelievable, and they're doing the Seniors Open there this year. Fine, one day. If it's got the infrastructure to do a Seniors Open, it should have the infrastructure to do an Open, and the course is easily good enough.
Yeah. So
anyway, it's the Open. So let's move on.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was, and my yawn would suggest how interesting today has been, and that is, and by the way, that is the best compliment I can give to Harmon, is he made it boring, because what he did was hit. If he made a bogey, he then made a birdie, and he made two bogeys, 3 birdies, shot 1 under par, and hit the middle of the fairway, hit the middle of the green.
Tough condition, pissing rain.
No. Can I say something here?
No one came at him, did they?
No, we'll come on to that. I don't think that was tough conditions.
I know what people are saying. You heard the commentators saying it's a little bit wider because of the weather, but he's a short hitter and it played longer. Rory's hitting driver 4-iron into the first. They're hitting driver wedge the whole week. With Harmon into the first, some kind of hybrid fairway good thing. But it's playing longer. It's never easy. You know what it's like playing in the rain. I've done tournaments in the rain. It's fucking shit. You're so focused on. Don't get me wrong, the caddy seemed very well prepared with the umbrella, and you see how I've got 15 gloves under the umbrella and 2 dry towels. And don't get me wrong, it's very well prepared. But
did you see did you see that little meme? And it was like Brian Harmon's bringing the club shop out with him.
Yeah. You know what? My first reaction when I looked at that and thought, great idea.
Have you never done that?
Nah. Two maximum, even if it's raining.
I have them hanging. Mine's like my nan's airing cupboard.
I need to say more. More. Yeah, I just thought what a great idea. Having stuff under the umbrella obviously is a good idea as well. But yeah,
Do you not have like a brolly? Do you not have like a towel under your umbrella and stuff?
No.
It's 100% dry. Oh no.
In my bag. I have a dry towel in my bag.
No. So I have, yeah.
I'm not very well prepped, but what I'm saying is the caddy earns their money on a day like today, don't they?
Exactly. And look, I just didn't want him to win. A bit like I didn't want Wyndham Clark to win the other week. It was just that I don't think that they add to the story. And I feel sorry for Royal Liverpool, because people won't remember Hoylake this Open because the winner wasn't great. Whereas
and there was not much drama.
2005, yeah. You know who won, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. No, I know what you mean.
Who won 2005?
Hoylake was 6th, wasn't it? Tiger. 05 must have been St Andrews, which must have been Tiger.
Yeah. Done. Because you know
when
it.
You look back at
23
Hoylake. Yeah, when you look back at 23 Hoylake, you'll be like,
Do it think. Who won it? What year?
Well, you think about Tom Watson, don't
you? Yeah. But like, there is no story around this. So not only is he a shit winner.
Stuart Sick was the villain. That was the story there, wasn't it? Because it was the Tom Watson.
But like, yeah. So like, what I'm saying is, there's stories around things, but like, he made it to the point where there was no story, and that there's major credit that goes for this. But like, equally, it was really boring. There was no wind.
It was a shame. It was a shame. But unlike the chat we just had about the cricket, where things could change, there was nothing you can do about this.
No. And half of the reason was he was a mile better than loads of people. He didn't miss a putt. Did you see the stat? 59 putts from 10 foot and under, and he held 58 of them.
This one today didn't hit from like 6 foot. That was it.
10 foot. 10 foot.
Either. And that's what won it for him. Simple as that. Nothing else. Hero is good. It was good the rest of this game, but Brighton won it for him. Of course. There would have been tens of players that would hit it better than this week.
And by the way,
Well,
obviously the bookies have won. They've won big time, but there's quite a few people in the know who have had money on him, and they've won big money because his odds were massive. And those people in the know,
350 to 1 on the exchange.
those people in the know who watched him at the Scottish, was they, you said it yourself. You said it. You said.
I think it's going to win though.
I agree. It's
easy in hindsight, isn't it? But you look at them about McIntyre each way 100 to 1. That's pretty much my only bet because it was so impressive what he did last week. You'd have definitely said pre-tournament that McIntyre had way more chance of Brian Harman. Way more chance. So did I think he could come top 10? Definitely. Wouldn't have shocked me at all. Winning is a different kettle of fish. And I think, as you touched upon, and I want to actually over-exaggerate this a little bit more, I don't think he's getting enough credit. He's won 2 events on the PGA Tour his whole career, and he's not young. He won a John Deere Classic, and in 2014, I think, and he won an event in 2017. Neither of them were John Deere. I'm not slagging the John Deere Classic off, but it's not, not an amazing event. It's not a Players' Championship, is it? So what I'm saying is he's won 2 events. He's never ever been in that position. Yes, he won the John Deere Classic in 2014 and the Wells Fargo in 2017. 2 PGA Tour events, and he's 36. So he's solid, and he would have had plenty of top 10s and top 20s. Hasn't won that much.
Do you know what?
He's leading a major, sleeping on a lead, and he got there early. It's Friday night. So it's not as if it was like Danny Willett, where he had to play 2 holes well under pressure in the Masters. Do you know what I mean? He had to play 2 days well, with people behind him like McIlroy, Rahm, Fleetwood, very good players. And he's just absolutely, I thought I was so impressed with him today. I really was. Even when he went in the bush, everyone was like, oh, here we go. I'm just going to drop one down and make, you know what I mean? They may still have bogey, but. And then but what impressed me so much was the back-foot birdie. I was like, that's class. Yeah. At that time, when you went back to 10, we were thinking we're going to have a golf tournament here. Him to go, I'm just going to make birdie, thanks. Seriously
even when
impressive.
Do you remember when he was in the hay? When he was in the hay on the third, on the right hand side, and he got up and down? It was like incredible.
Yeah, in the so I was like, I watched it with Charles. I was like, this could go terribly wrong. He can whiff it, he can stuff it, anything can go wrong here. We know as golfers what it's like. I remember one specific. I was actually club champ, and I had a 7-shot lead, and I just didn't know what to do because I was so nervous. It was such a big lead. I wasn't comfortable. I was thinking, because you're the one to be shot at. You're like, do I play safe? Then you can play too safe. Having the lead is so hard, and that's the club champs, not the Open. So, and I think I shot 81, still won luckily because the competition wasn't very good. But I was like 8 over at the turn, couldn't hit a barn door. I was like, this is going so badly wrong. So that just really made me think, having a lead is so hard because yes, you're constantly thinking about how can I not make double bogey. But at the same time, it's so easy to be safe and just make bogey, and all of a sudden you want clear or level. So I just thought how he dealt with his lead, shooting 1 under, barely really getting in that much trouble. Yes, the bush, but barely really getting in that much trouble, hitting loads of fairways. I was just super impressed, and I just hope that he gets the credit he deserves rather than it being, it's Brian Harman, it was a bit dull. Yes, it was, but the reason, like you said, touched upon earlier, the reason it was dull is because he was really impressive.
Yeah,
there's been so many people in that situation with a lead that have folded badly.
Yeah, a lot more talented golfers as well. A lot more talented golfers.
Yeah, Rory was young at the Masters. Spieth at the Masters. I mean, there's been so many collapses by fantastic golfers. Even that Pereira, I know he's young, it's a bit different, but that was a big collapse on the last. So fair play to him. He's played such good golf, thoroughly deserved it. No luck involved whatsoever. thoroughly deserved the win. Bit unexpected, yes, but
Yeah, yeah. That's the and by the way,
Rory, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Well, pretty much one golfer was better than him again, which is a shame, but he's obviously playing well enough.
and he played well. He played well today. Like I think that was the key. You know, he shot 300
He played
today.
like he did today at St Andrews last year. He wins easily.
Well, he wins by 2. So yeah. So look, Rory, I don't want to dwell on it too much. Really, you know, like I don't think he had his A game really this week. So and he was and he still was top 6. So look, it's so yeah, no.
I think it's a bit of a shame, like you said, that if Brian Harmon didn't exist, golf tournament we would have been scarily good.
Oh, scary good! You had so many golf. Jason Day,
Strakabogi in the last when he should have won. Then you would have had a 3-way playoff. You'd have had Roy missing by 1. You'd have Rom in a good position, should have won. You'd have so many. Fitzpatrick nearly being there. You'd have had so many different storylines. And unfortunately, sadly, we didn't get that. But
yeah, and if my auntie had a willy, she'd be my uncle. So.
It's just a day of sport that could have been amazing. It was just a bit average.
Oh God, that is exactly it. That's exactly how I feel. I just feel
could have had one of the best Ashes tests ever. Could have got into the 3rd test. Could have had an amazing finish to the Open if Brian Harmer went backwards. I know you hate talking about F1, but we could have had a good F1 because Lewis Hamilton was on pole, and that Grand Prix ended on the first corner. So it's just a day of sport that could have been mega that was actually thoroughly average, but never mind.
Yeah. Football.
Yeah.
Can we be cheery about football, or are we witnessing the Saudi takeover?
I don't think we're witnessing a complete Saudi takeover just yet, but it's obviously getting a bit worrying, isn't it? I don't think this is going to happen. If they get Mbappe, I'm then shit my pants.
Yeah, I think that we've seen this before with China. We've seen this before with America. We've seen this before with Russia. So, like, these things do happen in cycles, but these seem this feels a little bit different.
China have a lot of cash, and Russia have a lot of cash, and it's about there. Saudi Arabia's cash is about there.
No, I agree, and
it's like fun tokens, really.
It's just fun games, isn't it? Just play fun games.
It's scary, but I don't think it's people. Good example was there's been a couple of examples. Marcus Silva turned down a massive contract today.
40
million for 2 years. I'm fine, thanks. I'd rather stay at Fulham in the Premier League. So there's still people that will stay. Diaby turned down Saudi Arabia for Aston Villa. So there's still a motivation to play in the Premier League, win trophies, blah 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 blah. But again, it's a bit like Liv in that it's situational dependent. Diaby's young, wants to test himself. I can kind of get the Henderson thing. I can kind of get I obviously understand the Benzema one. You know, I can understand the end of career big paycheck thing. But the Mbappe one would be like, oh, this is scary now.
So Mbappe is interesting, really, because if, say, for example, Saudi Arabia buy Mbappe for, say it's 2 years. Say it's 2 years, yeah. One year, okay. Now, he's already got a verbal agreement from what we know with Real Madrid that he's gone there, right? But Real Madrid are like, well, we don't want to pay a transfer fee because 12 months ago, they weren't paying a transfer fee and he chose to stay at PSG. So,
but if PSG say just pay us 40 million now, would Real Madrid not say okay then? Because they've got him then for this year.
Yeah, but they want 200.
Yeah. Right, so just really quick more on this Mbappe thing.
Declan Rice went for 105 with 1 year left. So imagine what Mbappe is going to go for.
So this is Daily Mail, so take it with a pinch of salt. But Mbappe has been offered £173 million per year deal, which is crazy. 2 weeks a year, 3 and a bit million a week. So similar to Benzema, but 3 and a bit million a week. Interesting here it says, which includes a release clause to join Real Madrid next year. So,
and this is what I mean. So I almost feel that he could go there on the premise that he goes for 1 year, boost the viewing figures, and then goes across.
But then Real
the
Madrid
other thing,
hang on a minute, we had an agreement on a free, and now there's a release clause. Hang on a minute.
the issue, not an issue, sorry. One of the things for me is who owns PSG.
Yeah, Qatar, isn't it?
Qatar. Which country is next to Qatar? Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, it's an interesting one to see. When you get someone that good and that young, I'm not saying Ronaldo's not good, I'm not saying Benzema's not that good, mid-30s. When you get someone that's at their peak and that good, and he's definitely, from underestimating it, he's definitely in the top 3 players in the world. I think he'd be foolish to say he's not.
So he's not going to sit on the bench because the Euros is coming up.
The last pod, didn't I? I kind of predicted that PSG might say, "Hang on a minute, you can't take us to ransom. We're your boss, and I think secret deals behind my back. They'd sit on the bench and rot."
Yeah, I think the part that you're definitely right about is PSG are acting upon this season. They're not going to let it happen. They're either going to piss him off so much that he has to sit there, or they're going to, they're just going to sort it out.
Real Madrid will just bite their lip and go, "Do you know what? Yes, we agree."
But they've shot the load.
40 million, 50 million. We'll have it now.
They've shot the load though.
PSG might go fine. 40 million, 50 million, better than a free.
Johnson, they've shot the load, and there's no way they're getting another boner for the night. There's no way. There is no way. They're slapping it. They're doing all kinds, but there's nothing coming out.
Nothing you can do.
No. They've tried taking a couple of blue pills, but the books don't add up. The books aren't adding up, and they can't go big.
I was gonna say there's our short for the week, but I don't know how appropriate that's gonna be. Are we bothered? Not really.
No, I couldn't give a fuck.
No, yeah, interesting one to keep an eye on. Yeah, I mean, it's quite a busy day today, actually. I want to touch on the Zaha thing, because it's an interesting point that you made to me, in that it seems like a waste, and it does a bit, considering his whole career, pretty much his whole career, it's always been, where's he going to go? Where's he going to go? Where's he going to go this summer? Where's he going to go this summer? Most summers he's come out and said, I want my move. And in my opinion, it seems very clear to me that Palace priced him out of his move. Now, I can understand why they did that, because you always talk about players' worth to their club, like the Declan Rice thing.
Mm-hmm.
His worth to West Ham is at least 105 million. Is that a lot of money? Yes, but his worth to the club is huge. Grealish's worth to that club was huge. So Zaha's worth to that club is huge. But if you're putting him up for 80 million, clubs will go, he's a good player. I'm not saying he's not. I'm trying to be unbiased as I possibly can, because I don't like the fellow, and you can understand why. But try and be as unbiased as I possibly can. He's never been an £80 million player, in my opinion. He's a good player. He was a very good player, but he was 40, 50 million, 80 million. I think Arsenal wanted him for ages. They must have looked at that, and Palace were holding firm, and they must have thought, I tell you what, they nearly got him when they signed Pepe, didn't they? They 73 odd million for Pepe, and they really were close to getting Zaha at that time.
Yeah, and I think this is.
I don't know. You look at the United thing. United bought him. He did nothing. I know there's other stuff going on behind the scenes, but he clearly, in my opinion, wasn't good enough for United. I don't think he'd have been good enough for Arsenal.
No, and
I agree with you. Galatasaray is a bit of a waste.
Yeah. I
what he's done is amazing at the club, and he is a club legend. But he would have been an even bigger club legend if he'd have said, "I'm going to be just a Palace player my whole life."
Yeah.
Contract as well. They offered him £200 a week.
And has he turned that down?
Hero. Yeah. That contract is a free agent. The Palace have put it on the table. There's £200 a week to stay at our club. He was considering it, and they said no. But that was a good opportunity for him to go. A lot of money. I'm going to be an absolute cult hero.
There must be something at Galatasaray, like, because they cannot be paying that money.
Paying £200 a week? Yeah, exactly.
They can't be.
I agree they can't be, but if it's £200 a week to stay at Palace and be a complete club hero, as he is anyway, but even more so, or £100 to go and play in Turkey, just there must be something there.
I feel like there's something more to this story because, as well, he is tailor-made for Saudi.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And there was an offer on the table there as well, apparently. But I can understand.
And he's ended up going.
Like, there would have been a Champions League club that he could have gone and played for. Like, I think Lazio was the league.
Galatasaray's Champions League, aren't they?
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like, he could have done a job for someone, or if you're, I don't know, you're like a Newcastle, free transfer, take a punt. Is Harvey Barnes miles better? He's not miles better, no. Miles better.
Sorry, I want to say something there.
You're a Harvey Barnes fan. You're a Harvey Barnes fan,
yeah.
I know, but is he? I don't think Barnes. I don't know, but I just think, why couldn't the team that could pay wages, like a Newcastle, that are in Europe, have gone, take a punt on behalf? So it's a strange.
Where are Palace getting their money from, by the way, to pay someone £200,000 a week?
Yeah. And then, even from their point of view, they're getting off. It was a 3 or 4 year deal they offered, apparently, £200,000 a week. Like, good for them.
What the hell is he doing turning that down?
I need to look into it more, but I believe from what I read, it was about £200,000 a week.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound ludicrous, does it? But I think that they're a better team without him. So, but we'll probably talk about that more on our FPL pod. So, FPL Weekly. So, FPL Weekly at FPL Weekly 11. Follow, subscribe, other channels. Yeah. Other football news. There's been a couple of pre-season games. I'm not interested. You're not interested. And the women.
We had a good game last night. There's 4-3, but no one's
interested. No. The next, the Women's World Cup is on. I want to say one sentence about this. Okay, I endeavour people to not watch it until the semi-finals. And I'm being deadly serious now when I say this, okay? Women's football is really good, okay? But there's only 6 teams who are good enough.
That's completely fair.
And what I mean by that is when you've got USA versus England, when you've got USA versus Germany, brilliant. Haiti, China. We got in the other night, me and Johnson, and we put on USA versus Vietnam.
It was on already, because we left the TV on, didn't we? It was USA Vietnam.
Yeah. USA Vietnam, 2 a.m. in the morning, no deal.
Rivalry there, by the way, but we definitely would have been
that. Yeah.
An interesting one there, really. Bit about
bit of saltiness there. So look. Yeah, but so I really, really endeavour people to please do not watch the group stages. Do not watch the last 16.
All accounts, we were dreadful, and we saw.
But my God, please, when it's the quarterfinals, semi-finals, and final, watch it, because the competition will be there. The skill level is there. The athleticism. It is, but it's,
if we played USA in a semi-final of the World Cup, it's big.
Yeah, it's massive. And look, the whole country will start getting behind it. Trust me, it will. It'll happen. But there is no need to watch it now. I guarantee there's no need because
I understand. We're going to
there
get
is
through our group. So
there's no competition. There's no
yeah,
competition
they're all going to get
until
through the group. USA are going to get through the group. Spain are going to get through the group. We're going to get through our group. We play badly and still beat Haiti. I understand completely what you're saying.
yeah,
It's all going to fold into place initially because it just has to. The difference
yeah.
between teams is so vast, but when it gets to quarterfinals / semi-finals,
I think one topic that I want to finish on with football: equal pay.
yeah, you start spoken about this a little bit in Derby.
Go, go. What's your thoughts? Go.
Yeah, again, it's not. It may come across as sexist, but it's absolutely not. It's just to do with viewing figures. It's to do with. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. It's where it's slightly different. Something like a tennis, they play less sets, right? So should you be able to get the same amount of pay when the viewing figures are down, you're playing less sets. Not necessarily about the quality, it's not that important, but yeah, viewing figures, interest, that's about it. And Donald Trump's always said it, and he's probably a hell of a lot more sexist than I am. But he's always said to people that have said about this, he's always said, do a better job and you get paid more. Nothing to do about your gender.
I threw you a grenade, and you said Donald Trump. There's grenades.
That was a bit of a grenade. I didn't back him up. I'm just saying what he said.
I threw you a grenade, and you just threw petrol on it by bringing up Donald Trump.
Look at the USA women versus Wrexham.
Look, I agree with absolutely.
I love
With everything. I know, and also, can I also make another point here that if they were paid equal, what does it change? Apart from to those players, like, does participation go up? No. Does quality go up? No. Does like the what I'm saying is, if you want the quality to go up, if you want the viewing figures to go up, then all of that money, the extra money, should go into grassroots, should go into growing the game, not growing your bank, account.
Talking about equal play, we're not talking about equal rights. I'm a massive advocate for equal rights, obviously. I think a girl should have exactly the same opportunity to get into football as a boy. I'm a huge advocate for that. I've got a daughter.
So maybe the money. Yeah. So maybe the money should go into making sure that the game is growing, and not women's matches are being called off because they can't get a 3G. They can't play on 3G because they're playing on grass.
Who's going to pay it? Who's going to pay equal pay? You talk about equal pay. Benzema's on $3 million a week.
Yeah, no, I think what they're talking about is it's Australia. Australia are talking about it, and Australia are saying that for the men's side, they pay. Is it something like $2,000? Like say it's $2,000 an appearance or something like that. Whereas the women are on much less. Can I highlight one thing that doesn't get talked about? England football team, they donate every single penny of their match fee to, from the FA towards charities. So no one ever gets paid to play for England from a men's football team point of view. None of the players do. So it's not all. Look. I threw you a grenade because I really do think it's an interesting debate to talk about, and it would be really interesting to get like a female sports person.
It's mostly viewing figures is my biggest opinion.
Yeah, and if you put a correlation for viewing figures and pay, and it all stacks up, and you're not being hard done to based on your viewing figures, then I think you can't really say too much. But if you are being hard done to with regards to your viewing figures, like, for example, what channel is this being replayed on? What channel is it on? If it's not on terrestrial TV, then that is bang out of order, because this should be on terrestrial TV being pumped out to the masses, because that's how the game is grown. The women's Euros was everywhere, absolutely everywhere. So, but yeah, anyway, we spoke about that. Yeah, when did it get good?
Yeah, at the end, absolutely.
At the end. So
last
last point that I definitely want to make. I really endeavour people to not watch the World Cup until the quarterfinals and semi-finals, because every single game will be really, really, really good. I guarantee you it'll be really good.
But at the moment, when there's teams like Panama, go through it now, Panama, Jamaica, Vietnam, Philippines, when I'm slating countries roundly here, but you get the point. Like, it's just your teams to look out for. USA are favourites, Spain are second favourites, we're third favourites, Germany are fourth favourites, Australia are fifth favourites. That's about it. France are 20-1. It would be unlikely. That's about it, really. I need to look into the draw as well. I need to look into who can play who and stuff. I don't know when we would face USA, etc. I don't know that.
Yeah. Anyhow, last one that I want to discuss was fight sports. So UFC London happened last night. There was, and I watched the whole card. I watched the prelims all the way through. There was lots and lots and lots of upsets for Brits last night. There was a fair few people lost. So
a lot of Brits thought that lost. They should have won.
I mean, not that there was no like. There was a couple of dodgy decisions, maybe, but like not the big one was Molly McCann, who went in as a bit of a favourite. She's a crowd favourite. She's.
I did have a quick look. It wasn't a huge favourite. She was like 2-1 on the other girl 7-4. So she was favourite, but it wasn't like 1-10.
Yeah, and then she fell into an armbar. Well, not fell into an armbar, but
I don't know how bad it is. She said she broke her arm. I don't know how bad it is.
Yeah, anything to do with your elbow is usually really not great. They were commenting that the referee was a little bit slow in order to get it. But your elbow is a terrible joint for you to fracture. So yeah, look, Molly has done. This time last year we were talking about that spinning elbow that just set the world alight, and then it's quite sad that it's come down to her elbow getting broken now. So look, she's done so well. She's probably done so much for women's MMA in and around London, in and around Liverpool and the UK. So major respect. But the big man did it. He came back from his really bad knee injury again this time last year. He was in the main event and he, was collapsed on the floor. He threw a kick and he was collapsed on the floor, holding his knee, and he tore 2 knee ligaments when he did it. So, he's Tom Aspinall has came back and just showed the world that he is probably one of the only heavyweights who could potentially give John Jones a real good shot. Stipe Miocic is facing John Jones in November time. I don't think Stipe is going to do it. I really don't. So I think John Jones is going to be massive favourite for that. And then we could actually see John Jones just leave the game, because he's cracked it. He's done it. He doesn't need to do it anymore, and it's a major risk for him to potentially risk his legacy to do John Jones and Tom Aspinall. But like, wow, as if we're talking about a lad from Lee, here who is, who's potentially. Oh, mate, it was. I mean, if you watch the highlights, you probably watch the whole fight, because it just really didn't last that long. He literally 1 minute 20 seconds, wham bam, thank you, ma'am, straight over. You know, and this guy was on a run who he was fighting. So
I saw his
yeah,
interview. I really liked his interview where he just basically said, main reason I won is he said, I really, really expected my opponent. I really expected to go the whole way. Therefore, I prepared incredibly well. And that's why I went through him because I expected him to be really, really tough. And I just think that's such a great mentality. I think some people,
mm,
would maybe underestimate a fighter and that's when they get caught out. Maybe slight example that comes to my head straight away is maybe Joe Joyce against Zhang. Probably underestimated him and
mm,
got punched in the face a lot of times and thought, holy shit. But I think he
yeah,
did so well from the sounds of it. He just prepared and respected his opponent so well. And he just
yeah.
looked so good. So
He's
good.
a proper pro. Like really is
What
a
would you say
proper
he's
pro,
ready for a
and
big fight now? Is his next fight going to be bigger?
his next. So he's sitting. He said he's sitting ringside in Paris when Cyril Gann fight, and he's gonna. I'm taking the winner, and when I fought the winner, I'm then gonna fight the. I'm then gonna fight the winner of Stipe and John Jones. I'm gonna fight for the title, and he's like, this time next year, I'm fighting for the title. So it's potential. It's just that it's in John Jones's court. The
I love
ball is
supporting a home favourite as well. Like I love there's something patriotic about obviously following an English person that goes to the top, which I really like.
yeah,
Not
and
necessarily
like
English, like
and as well, he's so down to earth. Like he's so down to earth. And but yeah,
that gets
and
people into it. It got me into it more. Like who's the Brummy guy that's brilliant? What's his name? That got me into it. Tell me, put me out of my misery.
headshot dead.
Kamara Usman and Edwards.
Leon Edwards, baby,
Leon Edwards.
headshot dead.
So that was class. So that kind of got me into it. Now I'm really interested. Even though has he fought again, or has he got a fight booked?
Leon, yeah. He's fighting. He's fighting.
When's
Well,
that?
not at the moment. There is a real. So he's meant to be fighting Colby Covington, and it's meant to be happening in New. It's meant to be happening in New York. So then,
Yeah.
Mr. Donald Trump. I can't believe Donald Trump's come up twice in this conversation. Can stand there and be like, "We make America great again." Because Colby Covington is a big frigging.
He's quite good though, isn't he?
He's okay. He's okay. Leon,
Leon will beat
hopefully
him.
will. I really hope so. But anyway, I mean, there's a
All I'm
chance
saying,
that
the point was having someone that you can follow like that, you can get behind. That's English just brings people up like me, or fringe people,
yeah,
gets them more interested.
yeah. I mean, we've
So I
not
hope
we've not heard any we've not heard anything about Connor. Supposedly he knocked some person out on the Wirral the other night. He was there for a funeral and he knocked someone out in a pub. Oh, it's just his life seems like a mess at the moment. So yeah, R.I.P. Connor. It feels that way anyway. So, but yeah,
I don't think that Chandler fight will happen.
supposedly it is, and supposedly they've signed for it, and if it doesn't happen, then Connor will have to pay Chandler for his loss of earnings because it's Connor who is stuck. And ultimately Chandler needs to fight. Really, he can't just sit there waiting for it. But the problem is if you fight and you get knocked out, then you've lost the opportunity. So you're going to hang around waiting for that red panty night, aren't you? So it's
Ready to have the red panties. We did it, baby.
But Connor is so right. Connor is so right. When you fight Conor
Celebration.
McGregor,
5 meters of celebration.
it's true. It's true. He's so right. He's so right. Oh my god. I don't know about you, but 2014, 15, 16 Conor McGregor, I'm missing.
Yeah.
Because it was so good. It was so good.
They all owe it. They all owe. Every UFC fight owes Conor McGregor.
Yeah, and he was saying this in 2015. You are all should be thanking me. So, but the other one that we've got to think about, who's he's not as good, and I've told you this. He's not as he could be potentially, is Paddy. Every single person stands there and says, I want Paddy's body, I want Paddy's body, I want Paddy's body, because they know that Paddy brings the money. So, but he's injured at the moment, so hopefully he'll be back for the winter time. He'll get a fight, and hopefully yeah, really, really, really do. So yeah.
Boxing, you want to quickly mention? Obviously, we mentioned a bit before. We're looking forward to in the
Spence Crawford.
Spence Crawford's big, yeah.
Massive, biggest fight of the year. Massive, this is
on the line. Who's the champ?
Spence. I mean, I think they've both got belts. Yeah, they've both got. I mean, we are talking about the best. We're talking about the best of the best. This does not happen much at the moment in boxing. This does not happen that often. So I endeavour people, really, if you want to watch, if you think that you're watching boxing when you're watching Jake Paul, then think again, because that is not boxing. You are not what you're watching Soccer Aid. You are watching Soccer Aid. You're watching Paddy McGuinness in goal. When you are watching, honestly, please, if you're gonna watch anything boxing wise, you've got to tune into this, because like everyone who watches Misfits and all that crap that's being spouted about with regards to boxing in like YouTubers and all this rubbish, if that means that you watch boxing, this is boxing. This is boxing. You are watching the best of the best fight each other in their prime. It does not happen often. So please, everyone needs to watch this fight, because if they don't watch it,
an actual boxing fan.
No. But if you don't watch it, so say this does 200,000 buys, yeah, on pay-per-view, then Errol Spence turns around and goes, why am I risking everything against the best boxer in the world when I could fight Jake Paul and I could do 1 million buys? So I could 5x my money against a YouTuber, or I could fight the best of the best. So then what will happen then is we'll see more of this crap exhibition shite that Tyson Fury's spitting in our ears, putting in our faces. Whereas really, we want to watch Tyson Fury versus Usyk. We want to watch Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. But instead, we're watching Tyson Fury have the baddest man on the planet. Piss off. Doesn't matter. There's a lot of bouncers out there. There's a lot of bouncers out there who are pretty bad. But like ultimately, So I just please, like get involved with it. Please watch it. It's going to be really, really, really good. And I know it's on at a shit time, and it is for us. But like, actually, it might be like ring walks at like 5:30, 6. So
that's 5 o'clock, doesn't it? And that's usually 5:30, 4 to 6. It's probably a get up for it kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. You know I will be. So, but it is. This is top level boxing.
Good. All right, mate. I think that's covered it nicely.
Yeah, really good. Like, subscribe, do everything you need to do, and we will be back next week after the boxing. A little bit more football, maybe.
We're probably going to do a whole pod on our predictions. Premier League.
Yeah. So what is it? 3 weeks Premier League now?
Yeah. One of them. I don't know if it's going to be next week or the week after. We'll do a 1 to 20 Premier League prediction.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to being absolutely made a fool of. But yeah,
so
perfect.
Yeah, we'll either do that next time, or we'll do the chat. And
can I just highlight something? We predicted the Rory'd have a good open. We predicted that. Oh my God, what's that?
Scheffler, the one before. I kind of tipped him up, and he was close.
Yeah, and we said McIlroy, we said Fleetwood. So, like, there's. I'm not saying that we spout a load of rubbish, but yeah. maybe there's some truth in it.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks a lot for listening, everyone, and we'll catch you again next time. Thanks very much.
Bye.